Welcome back, everybody. Today we got a couple little different things going on. We're still continuing to work on the firewall. Literally haven't touched it since last week. Last week, that was last video. Well, a little bit. We got this big old piece cut out, and now we have to patch this piece. And once we patch that piece, we can grind down some of the welds and send that thing to paint. And we also have a new toy. Yep. So let's get into this and see where this show takes us. I got my template for my firewall to be made. This is a gigantic mess over here. Some more steel that I've had for quite literally ever. It's all rusty, but rust doesn't care. I'll clean that up. But a little template. Let's see how we are on our first cut. Took it a little close this time, so we'll see. I'm impressed. Let me show you. We'll start bending right there. So let's get that marked. It's almost like I knew what I was doing. That's very close. Tweak it just a bit more. I might even just tack that in like that and then just work it around with a hammer there. Let me think about this while I run to the store. Whew. So, couple hours later, it's all done. Yeah. It's all welded in. I ran out of flap discs, so I have to buy some more. I just don't feel like doing it today. So there's a lot of splatter because my buddy Adam showed me a new way to weld this in to actually get some better penetration through. And sure as shit, when I welded this one in, I went and looked on the backside and there was like no pen 15 in it. So I ground it all the way back down and I re-welded the whole thing, and now there's penetration. Same with here, I started grinding it down. But firewall is sealed. The only other thing I gotta do is I gotta buy like a real grommet for here and here. This, I think I'm gonna remake the plate and have either weld it, do it out of steel, and then weld it to the column, or make it a way smaller hole, because that's just been duct taped forever. Because obviously you can see the seals, it is not really good. Yeah, we're moving along. I don't want to do it anymore. I hate engine bay work. But I gotta grind all this down, and this is gonna get done with, you know, the kitty hair fiberglass infused body filler instead. I think heat did this though. I don't think it was a vibration issue. I took off, oh god, there's crap in here. This is where my arc relay panel sat. that is now gone because I showed you guys in the beginning what I'm gonna do. What I can do now is, which I'm thrilled about, is all this stuff that's way low is gonna get moved up. Everything's gonna get moved up so it's actually easier and stop being so crunched down here. So yeah, there's gonna be some holes through my carbon plate, but it just makes it lighter then. Come on. Good golly, what's going on here? Oh, that's right, because I don't know what is going on here. Kind of like fused together, huh? It's kind of obnoxious having this car on this side, mainly because of this wall, stairs, when on this side I had so much more room, because this thing is still here, which we have to start working on soon. I'm getting like annoyed by it. Let that run around this area because it is filthy. Grinding and welding and cutting, all that happy jazz. Come take a look with me, buddy. All right, this is my original fuse panel for my, not my fuse panel, this is my original switch panel for all chassis stuff. This is an ARC 8000. A lot of people hate them, a lot of people love them. I love them. This one I've had forever. You can see literally the thing's breaking. I want to see if I can get a new sticker for it, because it looks like it's just, you can peel it off. I don't know, I gotta call them. But this is what was in there. This was my starter. Line lock, horn, interior lights, chute. My chute was to arm the solenoid, not to actually deploy it, to arm the solenoid. Intercooler pump, and then I got some freebies. So I pulled all that out, and this is going in. This is the fuse. This was my fuse panel for the accessories chassis, like headlights and heat and radio and all that jazz. This went to this too. And so did this. So this right here is an ECU Masters PMU, Power Management Unit, PDM, Power Distribution Module, however you want to call it. This thing is tiny, and it does so much. That right there is a solid state. Is it solid state? I don't know. I'm going to speak on this, but I'm not. I've just started really looking into PDM stuff, so don't stop. I haven't had enough time to actually sit down and learn everything, all right? Relax. You don't know anything. Always. Anyway, this right here is, there's no relays, there's no fuses. You got your one power in, you got your connectors out, all right, all your pins, and I'll show you one right here that it came with it. I bought this used, got it for a screaming deal. I couldn't even pass it up. These things are like $1,300. You need this to actually, this is what I think is kind of silly. You need this to actually program it, which is like another $150. And then if you want a keypad, you have to buy a keypad, which I don't have yet. Apparently Blink Marine makes keypads that can communicate with this via CAN. It's like half the price of the ECU Masters one, so I'm going to buy that. I was going to buy an 8 switch, that's what I got, but I'm going to buy a 10 just because the price difference is like $20, and God forbid I ever need an extra button, I'll be mad. So this right here, you know, it comes, you can see that's your lightning cable. This goes to here, that goes to there, yada yada yada. But I ordered a new, and of course I needed my own, all my own pins so I can terminate it. And here is, you know, a sheet I printed out from their website to label everything. And what's cool is, like, my heater switch, where I was going to use this switch, not anymore. I'm going to put it in through the keypad in the pant, through the CAN. And what's cool, so the heat is, like, you have a low, medium, and a high. You're like, well, that's 3 switches. No. It's 3 inputs or 3 outputs, and what I can do is put that on one button. So you can take the button, well, I'm going to demonstrate on my arc panel here. You take the button, hit it once for low, hit it again for medium, hit it again for high, hit it again and shut it off. And you can do that all through the programming in the software that you download for this thing. Oh man, I tore up a nail too far. But I'm going to show you the instruction book for this thing. It's pretty daunting. Preliminary manual. 63 pages on this thing. But I've been watching videos. On this, and it's like really cool. So like my wipers will be on this, my lights will be on this, my heat will be on this. I could put my blinkers on it. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do a mechanical switch for that. My line lock will be on it. My horn will be on it. Starting, interior lights, my parachute arming, like all that stuff is going to be on it. And then some if I find more stuff. A lot of people run their engine stuff off this. I'm not. I don't like more complication. Blue raspberry. I don't like more complication than needs be. So this is just going to be strictly chassis. The possibilities are almost endless with this thing. It's so cool everything it can do. I've been watching a ton of videos on learning. Like the wiring part, that's easy. Yeah, there's literally almost nothing to it. It's, you know, you wire your power in, your 12-volt switch to turn on, or like this connector that it's got. You know, it's 12-volt, and then you're wiring your outputs. Like it's. I don't understand. I mean, almost anybody hates wiring. I don't. I enjoy it. I wish I did it more so I could get even better at it. I'd love to build my own harnesses, like my own engine harnesses and stuff, but my time allowance is not there to actually sit down and refine that to the point of where I can start doing that. But stuff like this is fairly easy. What I'll do is I'll build a harness off of this to a connector, you know, a Deutsch connector, like a 12 position Deutsch connector or something like that, and then that'll go out to my corresponding outputs, lights and stuff. Like what I like I said, I just told you about the wipers and the heat, the headlights and the running lights I can have on one switch. You know, it's hit the button and it turns everything on, and I don't have to worry about multiple buttons and switches and all this extra wiring. I'm curious to the weight. Almost a pound. So 1.15 with no wiring or a keypad. Just over 2 pounds for the arc. I got a piece of China's finest carbon fibre, which I spilled coffee on, and it's like you could see where it was. This was like 35 bucks on Amazon. A little thicker than I wanted. I got 2.5 mil. I think I'm gonna get 1.5 mil for this, because this is, it might as well be heavy as aluminum at this point. But I'm trying to figure out a layout while I wait for that other one to come in. And figure out how we're gonna wire all of this. It's a lot of wiring to rewire pretty much the whole chassis side of the car. You know, I gotta wire the heat, I gotta wire the radio, I have to wire the intercooler pump, I have to wire the parachute. I don't have to wire the parachute, that can stay without the switch, but I enjoy being able to drive around the pits and everything and not worry about that thing getting bumped on my steering wheel and thrown. Because when I finish my burnout, and I stop and I put the car back into first gear, I reach up and I turn my intercooler pump on and I turn my parachute on. And I've grown to kind of like that. Now, we have to figure out how to mount this under the dash. This is going to go under the dash. I could put this back where this was. Oh, the Roomba got into some crap. I hear it. You know, this is obviously, you know, it's obviously smaller. I could put it there. I might put it there. Who knows? I haven't decided. I'm going to say. Okay, it's like a week later. I got stuck in New Hampshire this past weekend because my piece of junk Ford broke down. Fuck you, Steve. And dealt with all that this past weekend, so we're back. Today's actually a snow day. It's Tuesday. It's pretty much like the only storm we get now in Connecticut. Old Faithful. So, taking this time to work on this junk some more. I got the firewall all done. Now, so this is all ground down, good enough for body work. This actually might need a touch more, but it's not that serious. Took a lot of the body filler down here. So I probably won't even go back with any. I'm probably just clean up these edges and just blend it in and just leave this bare, just to prevent cracking in the future. If there's nothing there to crack, it can't crack. And we started. So what I did off camera was I showed you guys the ECU masters with the relay panel I was gonna do, right? And then I was like, screw all this under the dash. I can fit this on the ECU panel because I got rid of the big ARC module. You know, that big fuse panel there. So I went ahead and mounted it up, got it all nice, and then forgot I had this. This is Holley's EGT controller. The problem with the EGT controller is it's how long the plugs are, right, for the leads. So this has to be mounted up close to the firewall. So I took it back apart, and now I got this laid out like, you know. I've had people question the fuse thing, because with this, you technically don't need that, but this is here for dummy stuff. Like, I'm not going to put my radio on here. I'm not going to put my charging port on here. You know, odds and ends like that I'm going to put on here. Like, if I eventually put rugged radios in the car, I'm not going to put that on here. So, like, just dumb stuff I'm not going to hook through PDM. No, I'll just leave those on fuses and call it a day. Like, my blinkers aren't going through the PDM. Yes, you can do it, but I don't want to have to reach up for my blinkers every time. Put a motion switch on the column. Stuff like that. So that's why we still have a fuse panel. Tore the whole engine harness out. This thing's a absolute mess. You know, this isn't Holley. This is me wiring in outputs and stuff. But like, and this is for my bump box and trans brake and such. But it's just like, this whole thing is just silly. And then USB, my crank sensor wire got a little crispy. So I think it would probably work just fine, but I mean, it is very stiff right there. What else? There was some crispiness. Yeah, that's coolant temp gone. I'm not gonna put a Holley harness back in the car. I'm gonna order a Devon harness. Go broke. You only live once. So stupid. I left my headlamp upstairs. So, not using the spot on the ECU panel for my PDM left me with some room on that panel. So, sorry it's not my good headlamp. But what I did was this fuse panel, sorry. This fuse panel used to be mounted here. This used to be mounted here somewhere. And these were flipped. So all this stuff was low down here. So it gave some more room to move everything up, make it more user-friendly over here. And then it's definitely gonna break up a lot of the nonsense because the other panel is gonna go somewhere right here. I'll probably see if I can reuse these mounts, which I don't think I can because they're not on the same plane unless I, went here and spaced off there. And then I just have to figure out like a low mount, or I go back towards the firewall, which I might do. I might just go back towards the firewall. Maybe make a mount off this. I don't know, I gotta play with it some more. Here's my battery kill out of the car. Look what I saw. It looks like the steel has worn down. Oh yeah, look, I could probably take it fully out. Yep. So it's completely wore it out inside there. Steel aluminum. So that's out. Now we got to figure out how to mount this panel. And what I might do is I might switch this to here and switch this to here. Just because, oh, there is lights on there too. The only problem is if I put it here and there gets a cage bar put in, that could be problematic. Made some brackets. They're getting pretty good at making brackets here. So this is going to be the passenger one, and this is going to be the other one. We'll see. But I even got them to be on the same bend. I'm pretty happy with that. I should probably get a powder coating set up so I can, hit these with some powder coat and get these to look really good instead of just trying to give it a little brushed finish here. Good enough for my house. And I can move this up too, but like that. And I can see through the glove box. I can see up underneath. So much work just to mount this. Now I gotta figure out something down here and down here. I got the mount done. All the mounting done. Everything's bolted to it. I gotta get some new hardware because I just ran out of button heads out of 1032s or whatever the hell they are. 1020, whatever. I can't even remember what size they are. Just ran out, so I gotta run to the hardware store and re-up. And we're gonna bolt this sucker in, and I guess that's gonna call it good. So let's get this thing bolted in. The only thing that's not on there is the USB to CAN piece, because that looks like it's a little Velcro or something to hold it in. I don't have any. The easy part's done, and that took, God, probably 2.5 hours. So yeah, now it's going to take 10 times that to wire this. Not the EGTs. The EGTs is super simple. It's literally plug it in, plugs into the engine harness via CAN, and then I got to get a wall plate, firewall plate for the actual EGT probes, and it just all clicks in. Super simple. The PDM, that's obviously way different. That's going to take a whole bunch of time. It's a learning curve. So we're going to take our time with that and get that wired right. The fuse blocks, super simple. Radio, blinkers, brake lights, just very simple fuses for that. And that's done. But like I said, the PDM, that's going to take some time. I don't know if I should end this video here or when we drop it off at the body shop. Might wait to do that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to bring this to the body shop for next weekend, because the engine bay is ready for paint. Well, not ready for paint, but ready to go to the body shop to get painted. And I'll just let Tony handle all that. I don't feel like doing any of it. We'll do that. We'll drop it off. Well, we've made it that far. Have to load it into the trailer to bring it to go get painted. Here's the problem. You see my enclosed, but no Ford, because that piece of junk broke down again. So I got my Denali with my stepdad's trailer. It doesn't have a winch. So we're trying to, I'm trying to get this thing situated to use a come-along onto the back of this trailer. It's not going well with all of this, because I'm an idiot and didn't finish shoveling my whole driveway. So let's try to do some pushing. The main problem is the front end's so light, it just pushes because of the spool. Sucked. All right. Let's see how that does. I'm gonna be here a while. Good workout. All right, I'm gonna finish strapping this thing down, bring it to Tony's in the morning. I'm gonna end this video. We'll start a new one when we go pick it up. All right, get in your garage, turn on the heat. It's freaking cold. Get to work on your hot rod. Spring's almost here, I promise. Have a good night.